Hello, good afternoon and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. And a good one. But this guy, he's a proper one. Yeah, look at the size of the claws on him. Yeah. Nearly 170. There is a nice sized male edible crab, brown edible crab. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. The crabs that we caught in the pots have found their way to Spargo's kitchen in one form or another. I say that because I actually cooked, picked and prepped 3 of them beforehand, like a Blue Peter moment. So we have the white meat, some brown meat and the shells from 3 of the crabs, and I've kept one of them. I've kept a fair sized one, so that I can show you a quick time how to cook them and how to prep them. And I'm going to hand you straight over to Jim, and he's going to turn the shells are going to go into the freezer, and they're going to be made into is it a soup, a fish soup for later on?
We're going to make a sort of classic fish soup, yes, when you rock up with the gurnard.
And the white meat and the brown meat are going to go into, do you say 2 different types of crab cakes?
We'll do 2 flavoured crab cakes. We shall have roasted red pepper, chilli, coriander, and we'll do a dill and lemon flavoured one. And we're also going to make a crab and coconut risotto.
I'll get on with cooking the crab. Now, cooking crabs and lobsters, I've put that into videos before. It is really simple. It's the same method for both, and that's that you need either clean seawater or fresh water with salt added. The water just needs to be as salty as the sea that you've taken it from. Bring that water up to a rolling boil, a fierce rolling boil. Dispatch the shellfish, put it into the pan. When the water comes back up to the rolling boil, 2 more minutes after that and it's done. That's how simple it is. Take it out and cool it down afterwards. Now that works for all sizes, because the larger the crab or the lobster, the longer the water takes to get back up into the rolling boil, so it cooks for longer. I'll show you that now. Proper rolling boil. 2 more minutes and he's ready to come out. Out of the pan and into a cold bath of water to stop it from cooking. Right, there's the crab that's been cooked. Now it's really easy to break it into pieces because the sections should come off. Now there's meat all inside of here, inside of there, and inside of all the leg sections. The brown meat of a crab is inside of here. I'll do all the legs, then I'll do the claws, then I'll do the body. The claws just simply go backwards against the joint like that. Then to take the meat out of these, all you need to do is I use a teaspoon, and you can just scoop in. Completely hollow. These parts of the claws, you will struggle to break it across, so I just use to pick these knuckles out. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as the other pieces. You're just going from one end, just push it through. You see the shell's completely hollow now. Now I've just got the claw. Now this is, you can see how thick that shell is there. It just needs a, you see it breaks the shell right off. You don't need to go crazy with it, because the more you smash it, the more chance you've got getting little bits of shell in your crab meat. So it just needs to be just enough to break it. Now all of that there is meat on either side, but there is a disc of cartilage right in the centre. There, look, that piece of bone right in the centre. Just take all the meat off the outside of it. And with the little sections of legs, all I'm doing is covering it over with a piece of tissue so it doesn't splatter everywhere, and just giving it a little. And all I'm doing is I'm just breaking the shell on it. Break them all and then pick them all at the same time. Like that, look. So all you need to do is just take the shell away. Like that. Breaking down the body, each one of these little sections here is full of white meat, and the brown meat is in this part of the shell. So to break it off, you just need to go into the crease there, lever it into there, prise it out. Now these are the gills. We'll take those off, and inside of here, inside of the centre, are all of the crab's internal organs, its gonads and everything like that. We'll take that part out. All of the white meat is going to be inside of these knuckles here. First thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take off all of these little bits of leg joints. The easiest way to do it is if you just sneak in underneath, they just pop off like that. Okay, look. And that opens up all of the meat that's inside of there. A blue Peter moment again is, this is one that I've already picked, and you can see that I've completely hollowed it out. So when I'm picking this one out, it will look like that by the end, once I've taken all the meat out. The brown meat inside the crab, you can see there's some more of the internal organs, there's the mouth parts. The brown meat comes from up inside of there. That's the white meat that I've picked out of that last crab, and that's how much I've got out of all of them. I've kept a little bit of the brown meat. It's Hannah was just saying that it's always a contentious subject whenever we talk about brown meat, because I would never advise people to eat the internal organs, just because if there was ever any harmful chemicals or anything that the crab or lobster has ingested throughout its life, they're concentrated in its internal organs. But the brown meat, which is like a paste, does have a lot of flavour in it. So when put into sauces and things like that. Yeah. So white meat, brown meat. That is kind of what I'm worried about. He just says, oh, don't worry, I'll just fiddle around in the background as he puts on his rubber gloves. Yeah. I will pass you over to Jim. Hopefully we're going to do some cooking and not...
We have this beautiful crab meat. This is a little bit of mashed potato left over from last night's tea. There are several ways of making crab cakes. I have some mashed potato, so that's what I'm going to use as the base of the fish cake. Other people would use broken crackers and or breadcrumbs and an egg, but we have the potato, so just going to crumble it up, and that's the freshest.
The crab meat, as I was picking it, I was checking it to make sure there was no bits of shell. Now you can have a flick through. Jim was mentioning about picking it into a tin bowl, so you can hear the clanging of any claw hits it. But, and unfortunately I've forgotten to bring it with me. If you have a UV torch, like a UV lamp, like the ones that we take foraging on the beach, like a black light, if you shine a black light over crab meat, the crab meat will stay one colour and the shell glows green, so you can spot the bits of shell in there.
Hannah, could you get the pepper mill and the salt? The brown meat, this has much deeper flavour, about 15 twists. So I'm just going to mush that in, and
The ratio of white to brown meat, though, you put more white meat than brown meat.
Not that much, or a bit more?
No, that should be plenty. We will taste it before we. And I'm just going to amalgamate that. This is the basic crab cake mix. I will divide it into two, and we shall do separate.
So you could make
flavours.
a standard amount, and then do it for 3 or 4 different types just by using the same base.
Yes, if you wished to, and just have a little. Little more white flesh and the remainder of the brown.
What ratio of crab meat to potato would you use? Like, so for instance, if you were going to be having a servings of for 3 people, I'm just thinking that you could have more potato and less crab meat.
Well, you could.
If you wanted to bulk it out a bit, would you just add more potato?
We can afford to be quite extravagant with the crab meat. We have so much of it. I suppose we have used 5 ounces of crab meat and about 2 ounces of brown in there. I don't know what the weight of potato, but that would have served 2 of us, 2 portions of mash. So I'll pop that into the fridge, keep it fresh, and we'll come back and divide the mix. Right, I was just pondering your thoughts, John, about quantities, because I never weigh anything.
The reason why I ask
people would
is because it'd be much easier for you, and also if you don't have access to catching your own crabs and getting them fresh like that, is you can go to a fishmonger's or you can go to somewhere and you can buy the picked crab meat. So I was just talking about, if you were going to just go and buy some meat from a fishmonger's, how much would you buy for a serving?
Oh, right, yes. Well, another good alternative too is tinned crab meat, because it's readily available in all supermarkets. This is some roasted red pepper I had from lunch the other day. I buy these in a jar. They have a lovely flavour, but if you wish to sear your own, that was the equivalent of 2. This is a medium red chilli. This is a 200-gram pack of coriander and the same of flat leaf parsley, and I chopped them both together, so that's a good handful there. 1/3 of a lime. I've just had a go at forming up a wee crab cake, and the mixture's a bit wet. It'll be the red pepper flesh. There's about 1.5 spoons of breadcrumbs. That's holding up much better. Just sits comfortably in the palm of my hand, and without too much pressure, just roll them into a ball, and then flatten slightly. Right, there we go, John. So I'm going to put those in the fridge for 20 minutes and let them chill and firm up. Clean pair of gloves, John. Lemon and dill.
So the same crab base that we had before.
This is just the bit of coriander. This is the other half of the basic crab mix. Remember, I had a couple of portions of mashed potato, and we put about 4 or 5 ounces of, which would be what, 200 grams of crab meat, I suppose. Lemon and dill. Lemon zester. This is, I prefer this little tool to using the box grater.
Tell you what, had some pips in it, that one,
just
didn't it?
Holding it upside down to keep the pips in my hand, and inside the lemon there's one. Right, we've picked out the stray pip.
I don't remember ever seeing a lemon with so many pips.
This is a 200-gram pack of dill from the supermarket, so I'm going to take about a third of that. No, a quarter. Because I'm fondling these cakes, I put some gloves on.
I was going to say, you're not mushing it, are you? You're just mixing it.
Just mixing it in. This is just to check seasoning and lemoniness, and the lemon is good. A bit more generous with the dill. And as before, that's quite wet. So a spoon of breadcrumbs in there.
You were trying to grow lemon seeds, weren't you, before? Did you ever get one of them to germinate?
No, I didn't. They went mouldy on the window ledge. But I have successfully got some dill to germinate. It's not grown sufficiently to harvest yet, but next year I'm hopeful. But I should like to have a lemon tree. And again, nice round bowl. And there we go. So again, into the fridge for 20 minutes. Crab cakes are chilling in the fridge, so I'm just going to make some risotto, and we'll warm it up later when we come to eat. So we're not going to be very far away. A large pan on warming. Generous amount of olive oil in there. I will add a knob of butter directly. There's plenty of oil. That was a pack of supermarket spring onions, which I topped and tailed, and then chopped them up. I'm going to have a pinch of white pepper. Generous knob of butter. 500-gram pack, and I shall put in a third of it. And we just want to stir the rice so it gets coated in the butter and oil. That's some ham stock I cooked yesterday, and I put a vegetable stock cube in. So I'm going to use that along with half a tin of coconut milk. That pepper.
It's got to back of my throat as well. We were just discussing, and I was saying that the reason why you wouldn't use the water from boiling the crabs is because it's too heavily salty. It's almost like brine.
400ml tin of coconut milk. Which is well shaken. There's half of it. Stir that in. Right, now we'll just add stock and stir that in. Pan still on a low light. Right, going to make some flavoured mayonnaises for our crab cakes. So we'll just do a tartar sauce to go with the lemon and dill ones. Right.
That one looks like someone's been at that.
It does indeed.
It looks like a Hannah Locker bite.
Oh, what have I put in?
No, it's...
No, I finished the ones I took out. There's no putting back.
Yeah, that's a clean break. It's so big they couldn't get it into the jar without breaking it. So I'm going to just take a piece off so it sits nicely on the board, and then cut it all into long strips. strips in dice. Right, that's a tablespoon of capers. I'm not going to rinse them. The vinegar will add to the sauce. Again, roughly chopped. Right, stay with me, John. The rice is ready for a
got me thinking about capers. Like, I wonder what came first, because I didn't know capers were a thing until several years ago, but I always knew the word of capers as being like japes and capers, as in like...
Oh, I see.
As in...
a caper.
Yeah.
As a larking about.
Like as a mischievous adventure.
Or robbery.
I wonder what came first, whether or not it was a caper or a caper.
What was the other one we were going to make for the chili crab cakes?
Lime and coriander.
Lime and coriander. When I tasted that fish cake mix, half a chili would have been quite sufficient. Those boys have some poke. Right, clean spoon, most generous pinch, and this is the coriander and parsley. That'll be zingy. Right, we'll just let those sit and we'll taste them before we come to eat them. Right, ready for another bit of... Nearly there, just... Right, the risotto is ticking away quietly. Another 10-15 minutes of careful observation. Seasoned flour. I think that will be more than enough. Ever-present bag of breadcrumbs. An egg. Nice fine black pepper. And then we're going to go flour into the egg, into the breadcrumbs. Just coat it all over in flour. And in the egg wash. Keep your fingers out of the egg wash. Otherwise you'll end up with chipolatas. And there we go.
So the same as with the last lot, but just with new flour, eh?
Yeah, breadcrumbs we got almost to the end of, and the flour there was quite a bit of coriander and some chilli in there. Okay, we're down to the last of the lemon and dill fish cakes, and it's always happens. It's breaking up a little bit, but it will reform nicely. Plenty of breadcrumbs, so as we did before, just a gentle squeeze. And there we are. And
Perfect.
as I said, keep one hand out of the egg. Right, our risotto has been cooking away quietly. Since we came back to this last, I've added another 2 ladlefuls of stock, and what has this been, about 20 minutes I suppose?
Possibly.
Just going to taste it for seasoning and see how well the rice is cooked. That's lovely. Pan's been on low heat warming, and I'm just going to cover the pan in a little bit. That's just a basic sunflower oil. So we'll pop these in. We'll start at 12 o'clock because we'll have to turn them over in a couple of minutes.
Tell you what, it's as if you planned that.
Ha ha ha. Yes, you see, it's Just going to turn that down a touch. We'll give those a couple of minutes, John. 3-4 minutes later. Oh yes, just about ready. Quite delicate, so must be careful. Right, John, we'll just... This one went in last, so I'm just going to put a point of a small knife to the middle of the fish cake.
And burn yourself.
And we, yeah, no, of course not. We only need it. That's okay. I'll just flip them over again, just so they can have a little reheat on that side.
Look, a lovely colour.
Yes, they do. I put the small oven on to 100 degrees. So I'm going to lift those out and I'm just going to put them in the oven to keep warm. Right, back to the...
That's the second lot of crab cakes in there.
Yes, we've got the chilli cakes in there now. I'm doing the chilli crab cake second because the oil, cooking oil, will take up the chilli. I'm just going to put some more coconut milk into the risotto because it had taken up too much of the stock.
It drank it all.
Yeah, it has drunk it all up. So it's just back on a... Even now it's a little bit tight. See if we can loosen it. And crab meat I'm just going to flake in.
I say about the crab claws like that. Some people, you can leave them like that as for decorative at the end and put a big claw on, but if you are going to eat it, there is a big piece of cartilage right in it.
It is. There it is, and we'll need a spike to get that bit of meat out. What I'll do, John, is I'll just rinse that bowl out with some cold water. And I'll use that to let that risotto down. A generous knob of butter. Chopped coriander. Chopped parsley.
Just folding that in, aren't you, to give the crab meat a little bit of heat?
Yes. Turn the crab cakes again so these are ready to come out. So, gas off.
They look a beautiful colour, them ones.
They do.
Was it plain white bread buns, breadcrumbs, or was it wholemeal?
It was a mixture. Ready to film? There we go. We'll have this risotto.
Thank you.
The crab cakes are in the oven warming, and we can have a taster of this and save the rest for the other inhabitants of that house. Do you want some parmesan on that, John?
Alright, thanks. That is delicious.
Lemon and dill. Bit of tartar sauce.
Trying to do it really delicately so it all looked real nice, and I just smashed it. They are lovely and delicate. There's nothing in it that's overpowering it. They're lovely, especially with like a little bit extra kick from the tartar sauce. We were just saying that I've already had a second one, so I've had 2 of those. I said, no, do you want to have more? And I was like, well, I don't know what the other ones are going to be like yet. So yeah, we're breaking straight into the chili ones.
Right, excuse fingers.
Thank you.
And this is coriander and lime.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They look lovely. Good. Stunning colour of them.
They're beautifully coloured, aren't they?
Put some inside.
Yeah.
It's a. I know a lot of people make crab cakes with just crab meat and mayonnaise and crackers and things to bind. But I suppose this would be crab cakes on a budget.
I
You
really
made it
like
go a
that
little
one.
bit further on it.
Mm.
I've gone straight in for seconds of these as well. We were just talking there, and it's. I can't put my finger on it. They're not as spicy, like chili spicy, as I thought they were going to be. Because when you tried it, when they were
Raw.
uncooked, when they were raw, it was quite strong. But you've got a bit of heat by the end of it. But the zing of the mayonnaise brings it back a bit. They are just absolutely delicious. I can't put my finger on it.
Just
There you
gonna-
go.
Sorry, what were we saying?
Yeah. What's your thoughts on them?
I love them.
They're
All of them.
these are more moist than the ones before. Is that just because you had more breadcrumbs or?
No,
And
Is it
the
the-
red
the
pepper.
bell?
it's the roasted red pepper.
That's of the two. I think these are my favourite. These are absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
They were absolutely delicious. I've just spent the last 5 minutes just talking about them because sorry, the dill ones. I'm just saying there that we put in probably twice as much crab meat, or even more brown meat, just to have more taste of crab.
Half as much. Again, they were very delicately flavoured, but enjoyable. But the chili red pepper ones were just perfect.
The sauces that you put with them as well, simple but really added to this. And the beauty of this being is I also have a pot of white crab meat. This is from the crab that I picked here. I have a pot of that to take home so that I can have crab sandwiches.
Good. Win-win. Now I'd just like to talk about the elephant in the room, our Mr.
Not my ears.
Spooky Doo here.
Oh my nose.
I've been. Halloween is on us in a few weeks' time, so I've been experimenting and made a spicy pumpkin soup, which we were sipping on whilst filming, and with the flesh, I've made a frosted, spiced pumpkin cake. We've eaten our way through half of one this morning already, and we'll probably do the other half now after I've finished the washing up.
So with any luck I can talk Jim into doing a video for that as well.
And also the seeds. I ate most of them, but you get an awful lot of pumpkin seeds, and I toasted them, and as a little crunchy snack they are joyous. So the week before Halloween watch out for the film What to Do With Your Flesh.
I hope you've enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.